What's up, guys? Welcome back to Practical Investments. I am back. I know I've been out for a little while, but hey, I have some things I had to take care of. But I am back with some new information, some new narratives, and we're following the money like always. So let's get into it. CYPH, Cypherpunk Technologies. Why I believe it's going to be a huge opportunity to miss if you don't get into this. It's not financial advice, but I believe Cypherpunk Technologies is going to surprise a lot of people. And I have the information, I have the proof, I believe, as to why it's going to be one of the biggest holding companies of cryptocurrency next to a company like MicroStrategy. So let's get into it. Before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, and share my information. If you guys feel like it's of value. But let's get into this first. We can't talk about Cypherpunk Technologies until we talk about the Winklevoss twins, and I will tie all this together. So let's get into this first. The Winklevoss twins. The Winklevoss twins are Cameron and Tyler, American entrepreneurs, investors, and former Olympic rowers, best known for co-founding the cryptocurrency exchange Gemini. But that's not really how they got their first start, right? We know they have Gemini, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's talk about how they got their real big start, all right? Let's get past this a little bit. The Winklevoss twins. The Winklevoss twins, allegedly, I don't know how that whole thing goes. I didn't see the movie. I didn't see any of those things, those situations. But apparently, they started Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. And some things happened to where Mark Zuckerberg did not put them into any of the ownership or what have you. So the Winklevoss twins sued them. The Winklevoss twins sued Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, and they won a $65 million settlement with Facebook in 2008. And stole their idea, social network site. An agreement consisted of $20 million in cash and $45 million in private Facebook stock, right? The twins later attempted to undo it, but that didn't happen. So long story short, they have $20 million in cash, $45 million in stock. Now this is before, I believe, they had the IPO, okay? So scroll down here. So I asked, did the Winklevoss twins sell their stock on Facebook eventually? If so, at what profit? Because I just wanted to get to the details. It said yes. The Winklevoss twins eventually sold their Facebook stock and used their proceeds to fund their famous pivot into cryptocurrency. Let's talk about how much they got, though, right? Initial value. 1.2 million Facebook shares they received in 2008 settlement were originally valued at $45 million. Following a 5-to-1 stock split in Facebook's initial IPO, in May 2012, the twins waited out the posted IPO lockup periods. They ultimately sold their shares when the value reached nearly $300 million. So they made about $255 million entirely from that stock, which is great. They didn't feel like there was enough, but they got enough, and they made a lot of money. So moving on from there, right? The Winklevoss twins, Tyler and Cameron, eventually bought Bitcoin, right? As we see in the other page, they bought Bitcoin, and right now they hold an estimate of 70,000 Bitcoin, worth about $5 billion. But apparently, they bought this Bitcoin in 2013, right here. In 2013, their brothers initially purchased roughly 100,000 Bitcoin for $11 million. Over the years, they continued to hold the vast majority of these coins, and then eventually, as you see, 70,000 coins for $5 billion. So essentially, these guys are billionaires off of Bitcoin, which is great, right? Yes, the twin brothers, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, are founders and majority owners and key executives of the cryptocurrency exchange Gemini. So in 2014, they created the platform Gemini, which is basically like a Coinbase. It's like a Kraken. It's like a what do you call that other one? There's other ones. It's basically a cryptocurrency exchange, right? And I'm assuming they keep all their cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, etc., on that exchange. I don't know how that goes in the billionaire world. I don't know, but I know that they have a cryptocurrency exchange. They also have a ton of Bitcoin. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of it, right? Because they got Bitcoin. They had a Facebook situation going on. They all this money. So how does this tie into CYPH? How does this tie into Cypherpunk Technologies? Let's get into it. The Winklevoss twins are heavily invested in Zcash, actively treating it as a strategic privacy hedge to Bitcoin, right? Their backing spans multiple years and millions of dollars spearheaded by major corporate accumulation strategy, direct corporate investments, and ecosystem donations. So, okay, they went over to from Facebook stock to Bitcoin. Now they're in Zcash. This is interesting. Corporate accumulation via Cypherpunk Technologies, initial funding. In late 2025, Winklevoss Capital led a 58.8 million private placement into Leap Therapeutics, which subsequently rebranded its name to Cypherpunk Technologies, CYPH. This is interesting because I'm going to go do another video talking about this same situation or strategy being done with another company, but I'll get into that a little way later. Anyway, Zcash Holdings. Cypherpunk quickly acquired hundreds of thousands of Zcash tokens in late 2025 following additional purchases. The firm increased its holdings to over 233 Zcash, worth about $150 million at a time, controlling over 1.4% of the total supply. Interesting, right? Let's get into this. So what is this movement? What does cypherpunk actually mean? The original cypherpunk movement emerged in the 80s and 90s. It advocated using strong cryptography to protect individual privacy and reduce dependence on centralized institutions. I'm assuming they're talking about banks, talking about big institutions that want to control your money, they want to look at your money, they want to see what you're spending. That's basically what they're talking about, right? So, number 2, in late 2025, a NASDAQ-listed company formerly known as Leap Therapeutics, like we said it before, rebranded as Cypherpunk Technologies and adopted a treasury strategy centered on the privacy-focused cryptocurrency Zcash. The transformation was funded by $58 million by Winklevoss Capital again, and the company immediately purchased $50 million worth of Zcash and stated a goal of accumulating 5% of the network's total supply. Interesting, right? So here's a new update really quick. Of December 2025, Winklevoss backed Cypherpunk, buys $28 million in Zcash, now owns 1.7%. They own 1.4, now they own 1.7. Okay. Here's more information real quick. 2026 purchased an additional 10,000 Zcash for $5 million in early May, raising total holdings to about 314,000 Zcash. And the company's ongoing strategy is backed by Winklevoss Capital once again and aims to accumulate again 5% of the total circulating Zcash network supply. Cool. So we know Winklevoss twins, Zcash, they have a treasury, which they rebranded over from Leap Therapeutics over to Cypherpunk Technologies. Hope you guys stay with me right now. I know it's kind of long, but I'm trying to tie it all together like I did in my other 2 videos. So let's keep going. CYPH holds approximately 314,000 Zcash in its corporate treasury, reflecting on roughly 1.88% of its total network supply. So you see, they're constantly buying and buying and buying more. They had 1.4, now they have 1.7, now they have 1.88. They're trying to get to the 5% total supply. If they keep going, they're going to have a huge supply of Zcash, and I'm pretty sure they plan on holding it until further notice, right? They created the treasury. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, did they create this treasury, or was it something that they just kind of, something that someone else owns, and then the Winklevoss twins kind of gave them money, so they kind of control them through the money? So I just wanted to see. Cypherpunk was originally a biotech company called Leap Therapeutics. We know that, right? And so I got down here a little bit. So when people say, I just want to skip through all this. I don't want to give you guys all the whole paragraph, but it says, so when people say Winklevoss twins created Zcash treasury, that's essentially accurate. The legal entity is Cypherpunk Technologies, but the strategy, funding, leadership, appointments, and public message all trace back to Winklevoss ecosystem. So essentially, yes, they own Cypherpunk Technologies. They own it, but they don't own it, whatever. It's like a side entity to something that they control, right? And they're constantly pumping money into Cypherpunk Technologies. Now, this is interesting, right? This is from Leap Therapeutics website. New releases. This is January 2026. Cypherpunk Technologies The privacy technology company today announced that Arjun Kamani has joined the company as strategic advisor. Kamani, a prominent voice of Zcash ecosystem in the philosophy progress movement, will provide a high-level guidance as Cypherpunk accelerates its mission to scale privacy-preserving digital infrastructure. Interesting, right? It says his appointment follows the recent addition of prominent crypto executive and privacy advocate Josh Swishard, who is, I believe, the CEO right now of ECC, and Zcash founder Zuku Wilcox as advisors, further strengthening Cypherpunk's position at the forefront of privacy ecosystem. Interesting. Who is Zuku Wilcox? Zuku Wilcox is the ex-CEO of ECC, who and also a for-profit company leading development in Zcash. So he's a Zcash founder. So the Winklevoss twins created Cypherpunk Technologies, bought Zcash, and who better is it to be advisor than the owner or the creator of Zcash itself, Zuku Wilcox. Interesting. And here's the article right here. They tapped him as a strategic advisor back in 2025. So he's been an advisor for almost 6 to 7 months so far. And this is being slept on. No one knows about this. And then you have this individual, Will McEvoy, I believe his name is. He is the Cypherpunk CIO. Don't ask me what CIO means. I believe it's Chief Investment Officer. I think I'm right, but yeah, we'll see. But Chief Investment Officer, he said, called Zcash the most mispriced asset in cryptocurrency. So I kind of looked this guy up, and look at this. Will McEvoy is the CIO of Cypherpunk Technologies and also the principal at Winklevoss Capital. So he's tied in heavy with both of these things. Again, he's the CIO of Cypherpunk Technologies and he's the principal at Winklevoss Capital. He works closely with Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss to lead investments with a heavy focus on digital asset space and Zcash privacy ecosystem. Wow. Let's keep going. So I wanted to ask this question because, I know of another company that's kind of similar to Cypherpunk CYPH, but I wasn't really sure. So I asked ChatGPT, would Cypherpunk Technologies and MicroStrategy be a safe comparison in terms of gathering cryptocurrency and holding? It said, of course, it's going to give me this yes but no, but it said in a nutshell, if you're comparing them purely as companies that acquire cryptocurrency, hold it on their balance sheet, and expect long-term appreciation, then yes, the comparison is reasonable. That's all I wanted to know. They gave me this. You guys can look at that if you want to, but MicroStrategy is a $1 billion company that raises money to buy more Bitcoin, to hold it and to hoard it and to use it for other ecosystems. CYPH is more of a private thing, but it also is funded by one company. Which is Winklevoss Capital, which is the Winklevoss twins. So I can see the differences, but in my opinion, they're doing the same thing. They're buying cryptocurrencies, they're holding it, and they're using it for a bigger purpose. So let's look at this real quick. So I just want to show you guys real quick, MicroStrategy. Am I spelling that right? Oh, let me just put in strategy. There we go. Look at the just look down here. I see we have this big pump and this big dump down here. I get that. It took a while for that to happen, but just look down here. Look at how it started. Started down here. It pumped up here, went down here, consolidated for, I would say, multiple amount of years, 2022, 2023. Then 2024, it started popping up and boom, went all the way up here to 530 or 40 something dollars. I think that's pretty amazing. It just shows you they probably were accumulating it down here and then eventually they popped up. I think the same thing can happen with CYPH. Now with CYPH, the best part about CYPH is it is a lot cheaper than MicroStrategy. Look at this. We started up here Opened at 59 bucks, shot up, went down here, shot up again, went to $100, so we fell all the way down here to 67 cents as of today. I don't know about you guys, but that is extremely cheap. And I saw some fair value gaps up here that I believe can be touched again. I believe we're going to have an opportunity to go back up there again and touch it again. Barring no reverse stock splits or barring no kind of liquidations, if we get this move up, that'll be probably one of the biggest sleepers that I've ever seen. Yeah, guys. And plus, a company that has 314,000 over probably $150 million in Zcash. How is a company worth 70 cents? To me, that doesn't make sense. A holdings company that has that much Zcash doesn't make sense. I think that the popular vote, the popular stock, or the popular buy is not here yet. I think it's coming. It's going to make a lot of people a lot of money eventually. Of course, I think the Winklevoss twins have stock in this. I think, I looked it up. BlackRock has stock in this. Vanguard does. State Street, all the big banks, they have stock in this as well. Of course, not that much because they have a very, very low float, 90 million. But of course, I think this is going to be a big opportunity for people that missed out on Zcash, that missed out on the Zcash trust with the Zcash trust with I forgot the name of the company, but Zcash trust, and also the Zcash Grayscale, excuse me. They missed out on Zcash with Grayscale. They missed out on Zcash in general. This is the next best thing in my opinion. If you want to get into that privacy sector, privacy agenda, privacy race, and you don't pay a lot of money, this is the best opportunity, I believe. Again, not financial advice, but I am accumulating this like crazy right now. I have a certain goal, and hopefully I can get to it before this thing pumps up, before anybody else knows about this, right? Again, hopefully that information was good for you. I know I was kind of speeding through everything because I know it's a lot of information, but in a nutshell, we have Winklevoss twins, we have Zuko Wilcox, we have Will McAvoy, we have a lot of big banks, a lot of big institutions that are investing into Cypherpunk technologies. We have everything we need, but all we need to be waiting for is the pump. I'm buying. You guys can do what you want to do. I just want to put this information out there for you guys to see, and this is, to my opinion, a big opportunity. So hopefully you don't miss it. I want to bring y'all a banger, a great opportunity for the next video. This is it. I think this is a great opportunity. Please don't miss it. Again, but do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, this is this whole thing is a wild, wild west, in my opinion. Cryptocurrency in general, wild, wild west. You never know what's going to happen, but in my opinion, this is the next best thing. I bought Zcash Trust, and I'm buying this because I'll make money off this 3 ways, God willing. But anyway, that's the end of the video, guys. Please, do the same thing, like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think about this. Does this make sense to you? Do you guys think this is going to be a legitimate company? Do you think it's going to be liquidated? Do you going to be reverse stock split? Do you think it's going to be pushed up and might see the highs again for $100? If not, let me know. If so, please leave a comment. And again, like, subscribe, and share. And you guys have a good one. Peace.